Well, greetings again, everyone. Nick Michalak and Steve Frazier returning to our Halloween series of commentaries.
Hey, everybody, again.
And Halloween 2 today, the 1981 Rick Rosenthal directed version. And watching the theatrical cut, not that weird television version, but we'll talk about it a little bit here
shortly here. Our version today does not have subtitles, which is something we're not used to.
Yeah.
So we apologize that that's not an option for you as well.
Shame on you, Shout Factory, but...
Damn. That's the first thing they've ever done wrong.
Anyway, guys, if you want to sync up your own copy of Halloween 2 with our commentary, go ahead and hit the timestamp 0. And in 3, 2, 1, play.
I like that countdown.
Sure idea. Figure I'd go for it.
Just to, make sure it's exact.
Yes.
Did Universal do the first one?
No.
I didn't think so.
It was independent.
Okay.
I think it's our first Universal commentary altogether.
So, a lot of people associate this music, Mr. Sandman, with this movie. For me, it's always been Back to the Future.
Yeah, because it makes more sense with Back to the Future here. I don't understand why they ever use this here. It makes no sense.
I don't know, but there's a lot of people, when you say Mr. Sandman, what movie was that in? They go, oh, Halloween 2. And you're like, I don't know. I didn't watch it enough as a kid.
They threw it back in for H2O. It's like, I don't get it. It doesn't have any correlation to anything in the film. It's not set in the 50s.
Right.
It's not about a Sandman. It's about a guy in a mask killing people.
Yeah, it's kind of out of place.
Yeah.
So here we've got the classic early 80s. Let's remind you what happens.
Yeah. And it works enough for this one because you're picking up exactly where the first one left off.
And I feel like not enough sequels do that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an underused technique.
Aside from Back to the Future.
You're right.
Exactly. There we go. And we are having commentaries coming soon for Back to the Future franchise.
Stay tuned for that. That whole Undertaker sit-up that he does there is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Even with the head turn, like Undertaker did a straight up rip off of Mike Myers.
Yeah.
So
and it's slightly odd because they're using the new score in the old footage.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. Until we get to the part here with the reshot footage. And let's start right here, shall we? Let's count the bullets. One. 1.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
One more shot than there was in the previous film.
Oops.
It always felt weird that they splice in new shots from the outside of the house into the old footage. It's really jarring.
And how did they not catch that there was an extra gunshot?
Yeah, I just... Damn, the script supervisor not doing their job.
Somebody.
Or the editor not doing their job.
And what is that?
And that looks completely wrong.
It's so dumb.
It looks like a crash test dummy just fell on the floor.
How long is that fucker's arms? They're like 4 foot.
Stretch Armstrong.
Who or what did they use to make this indent? Oh, shit. Good blood, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the whole idea that you come in, like, to the same moment is pretty ingenious, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, there's only two ways you could have done the sequel. Either you do this, which is completely logical, or you do something more like Halloween 4, where you pick up years later after Michael's been disappeared or something. It's pretty much the only two ways you could have gone with it. and this
Well,
just seemed more.
And what is this music? Alan Howarth.
Yeah, feel there's a lot of people who love the score in this thing. I don't like it. It just feels weird.
It's so clunky.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get it.
It sounds like Funhouse music to me. It sounds more playful. It just sounds overdone.
Yeah. Here's that whole top billing, first billing situation.
And it's always weird because the person on the left is down here and the person on the right. So it's like we're not really giving one credit to one person over the other. It's weird. It's weird. Just figure it out.
And, they kind of update the pumpkin situation here, which is cool. I mean, I guess if people are watching this, they're probably, again, familiar with the backstory here and how Carpenter didn't actually want to make a sequel at all.
And one thing I read is like he was drinking some heavy booze trying to grind the script out, which he could not get a hook on.
And, they offered it to Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yeah.
Who basically said, I'm not going to fuck up your franchise.
Yeah.
Little did he know. But, he said he'd come back. He just didn't want to be in charge. So they got Rosenthal to do it.
Yeah.
And the first one, 78, this one, 1981. Mm-hmm. So, movies have come out.
Yeah,
like
the slasher franchise has evolved very rapidly.
Yes.
By this time, you've already had 2 Friday the 13th films out. Part 2 came out earlier this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because this was released on Halloween, I think. Or
somewhere close to that week. You got the thing right here.
I want to say it was either the 30th or the 31st.
Yeah, October 30th, so Friday the 13th Part 2 had probably already been out since like the spring or summer. And about 90 other slasher films in the last year and a half.
Including Terror Train, right?
Yeah.
Which Jamie Lee Curtis was in.
Yeah.
And then she
Prom
didn't...
Night as well.
She didn't... Oh, and Prom Night. And she didn't want to do another horror movie. She wanted to get away from the genre.
That's why she started doing like Trading Places and all that type of stuff. Want to expand herself.
Really cool idea with the skull inside the pumpkin. And, she's got a bad wig on in this movie.
We're going to get to that.
There's all kinds of weird things.
Yeah.
And you can totally tell the difference between this movie and the first one is so stark.
Even the cinematography is close, but it's not close enough. In terms of the color of this film, because
it doesn't feel like
about how the first film had a little bit of a muted tone or whatnot, with the overcast and some things like the daytime scenes didn't feel poppy; they felt a little bit more restrained, and only really had like the blues and whatnot. This one feels very colorful. As we'll get into. I think
maybe it's because a lot of it's inside.
Well, we'll get here in a moment or whatnot. But like even the grass seems greener at night here.
It does.
There just seems more saturation. I don't know if it's maybe just different film stock they're using. I don't know, or the fact that it's a studio picture and there's more budget to work with. Or something.
We were researching, and the budget on the first movie was $320,000. The budget on this one was $2.5 million.
Yeah.
So, you've
got a lot more to work with.
It's 7 times the budget.
Yeah.
Where did that money go?
Most of it is in the climax of the film.
You're right. They blew $1 million. Literally, they blew up $1 million at the end of the movie. So the feel here so far is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. And there's the returning sheriff. Mm-hmm. Again, he's a county sheriff.
Yeah.
Does this town have cops?
You haven't seen any yet.
Is this town so small that it's just, covered by the county? I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. Mm-hmm. The point of view I love. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily buy that these 2 old fogies would have the jack-o'-lantern in the window.
Yeah.
There's a good Coke. Love me a Coke.
Like a whole slab of
ham. Yeah. A little mayonnaise, a little mustard.
Of course, it's probably like midnight now or something. It's probably like at least like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'm sure. maybe it is this Blu-ray copy that making it look so beautiful, but everything is really bright.
Yeah.
Love that Coke. Got a new knife, sure. And where is this happening from? How are they already there? But that's a nice shot.
A nice split diopter there.
The mask looks dirtier already, which I guess could be the case, because he's been, rolling around in the grass.
A tad bit, maybe.
But it was so stark white in the last film that that's pretty good. He even bled on the ham sandwich. There's some more non-native to Illinois plants.
It is California completely.
Oh, and you're right. This person walks completely different.
Yeah, it's stuntman Dick Warlock, who he'd be a stunt double for Kurt Russell for most of his career.
Does he look like Russell?
Kinda does, yeah.
Here's something that's lost in 2018. Ain't nobody checking on their neighbor. Nobody gives a shit about their neighbor anymore.
Or they just text over there.
Again with the pumpkin in the window, like...
Yeah, it's a little too much. Like, we get it.
Right. It's Halloween. Got it. You told me that right at the opening credits.
Yeah.
And 4 years ago.
And I think this entire sequence was shot without Rick Rosenthal. This is one of the things that added a higher body count. More gore into the whole thing. So,
this scene here?
Yes, I think Carpenter directed this sequence. Because there's... A lot of the background of this whole thing is just such a mess in a certain way that Rosenthal came on, he wanted to make exactly like the first film, but then because the culture changed so much for more gore, more nudity, all this type of stuff, that Carpenter, like, we got to make it like those films.
Well, I'm wondering if it wasn't the studio that said, this is what we expect.
Maybe. And Carpenter went along with it and everything because he didn't give much of a crap anyway.
Right. Myers, in that scene right there, completely a different Michael Myers.
Yeah, the build is, doesn't seem as tall. He seems shorter,
he also just kind of walked in and stumbled to the left.
Yeah,
he wasn't imposing.
Yeah.
The movement is completely different.
His move in this whole thing is completely rigid. I don't like it. And a lot of people just have... For some reason, this is the template that everyone followed after this. That he's got to be stiff, he's got to be robotic, he's got to be like a lurching Frankenstein
non-human
monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a shot of the eye, which we got no eye.
Right,
shots
no
in
eyes.
The first film.
No eyes, and we've already had a blood splatter. How much blood was in the first movie?
This is already more blood than we saw in the first movie.
Exactly. Aside from, like, 8-year-old Michael Myers stabbing his girl,
it was a
sister,
slight bit with the throat cut, Nancy Loomis, and just a slash on Jamie Lee Curtis's shoulder. That's it.
Yeah, that splatter right there was already bigger and better. Oh, here's some more cops.
Yes.
And some standard patrol or paramedic people. Central casting. Look at that terrible hair.
And that frickin' wig.
Are you kidding me? It doesn't even look like the same person.
I want to know how much they paid Jamie Lee Curtis for this film, because she does almost nothing in this whole film.
She really does just
kind of lay in bed for like 90% of it.
She lays around.
The only thing she gets money for is crawling around on her hands and knees with no padding whatsoever.
Well, I will say that she has
I'll sympathize.
Some good crying and that kind of...
But compared to the first film, she has next to nothing to do in this film but sit around and fall asleep. I think cower in corners.
Oh, Jimmy.
as Lance guessed, he would be in The Last Starfighter and a few other things here and there.
HMH. I like it. It's a good logo. I like that car. Not her car, but the yellow car.
The 50s car. 50s car.
That's why they played Mr. Sandman. Because of that car.
Oh, here we go. The razor blade and the gums.
Which has never happened, ever.
Yes, it's a false myth. Apparently, because there's a bunch of different like producers and whatnot on this thing. You had Dino De Laurentiis handling all like the foreign rights, and he did not like this scene at all. He wanted it cut out of the film.
Well, all it does
is
it perpetuates this theory that it's unsafe to be a trick-or-treater.
Yeah.
Which it's clearly not.
Yeah.
I remember as a child, I used to help my grandmother make popcorn balls. And we'd wrap them up and we'd give them out. And, oh God, can you imagine somebody trying to give away homemade food in 2018?
Not happening.
Oh. A couple of good afros here.
Yeah.
White guy afro.
Yeah.
She is pretty stoic here. Can you call it an afro if it's not on a black person?
A white fro.
I don't know the etymology of that particular word, but
Shelley from Friday 3 had one.
Darn right, that was a Jew fro, though. I don't know when these stereotypical nurse uniforms
got phased out.
Yeah. Did they still even exist in 1981? I feel like this hospital, like a drunk doctor, or is he tired? What? I don't understand. There's like nobody in this hospital.
There's nobody. There's no other patients anywhere in this hospital.
Right. It's so, like, jarringly
stark,
wrong,
and empty. Yeah. There's plenty of staff. There's no one to take care of. So what the hell is the staff doing here?
You know what else this movie does a lot of are these close-ups.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of close-ups.
No.
In the other one.
There's a lot of wide shots. Which is typically how you shoot a CinemaScope feature. You don't want to punch in so close that it crowds the frame. You have a wide frame for a reason.
There's another close-up.
It's not like it's necessary. I mean,
right? That's only there to get a reaction out of people who don't like needles.
Yeah, a close-up insert shot is supposed to be used for a purpose. It's not just there to cut to something. It's supposed to be used as a storytelling tool. You don't need to keep punching in on the vein going in.
Especially twice.
How the hell? Who's driving the car?
He's got no hands on the wheel.
Where's all this green lighting coming from, for Christ's sake?
He's not looking at the road. And Loomis was going to smoke?
Yeah, he didn't smoke at all in the first film.
I don't remember him smoking at all.
Nurse was. He's reloading his bullets. All seven of
all
his bullets.
7 bullets in a 6-shooter gun.
He's got the magic extra bullet.
Just like JFK.
Back.
And to the left. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Slow down. I mean, you're at an intersection. Stop, for fuck's sake. All right, here we go.
Oh, here we go. See now Loomis has gone to crazy mode.
Why? This person has a platinum blonde hair. You just shot the man a half hour ago, and you don't remember what he looks like?
And it's bizarre because they're having this character who's not Michael Myers walk exactly like Michael Myers here. Walking all stiff and everything like that.
And holy fuck!
That's the end of Ben Tramer.
What?
That's Ben Tramer.
I know who it is. R.I.P. Ben Tramer.
There's the end of the cult of Ben Tramer.
Lori will never get to go to prom with Ben Tramer.
No.
Boy, he's really burning up. Burning Ben Tramer. How great is it that the cop, here's where he's being told that his daughter is been slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
How great is it that the cop actually did vehicular manslaughter, and can we talk about that's reckless driving, sir? And can we talk about how the car exploded before it even hit? And can we also talk about how that's the fastest goddamn medical service you've ever gotten in I guess there's no other patients, so.
Well, still, I mean, you gotta stitch him up, you gotta give him some antibiotics or something.
The movie's only been playing for, 15 minutes? And
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Well,
it takes...
minus the recap footage.
It takes more time than that to check in at the hospital.
Yes.
To tell them your name and address and
I
who
gotta
your
sit
doctor
there for 45 minutes before I get it to a doctor.
Oh, Jimmy. So, what was that other cat's name that wanted to go? Baxter? Ted
Baxter.
Ted Baxter?
Yeah.
Was it? I don't remember. And now, the love of her life, Ben Tramer, R.I.P.
is roasting over and over open fire.
Roasted Ben Tramer. Oh, God. And now all of a sudden she's making googly eyes at this kid? I mean, he's a good-looking guy. I got it.
Yeah.
Better looking than... Well, I can't say. We don't know what Ben Tramer actually looked like. But, no, this Jimmy's a cute kid.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fit that hair underneath a mask, you know? I mean, you gotta let it breathe.
Right. And you can see the wig line on Curtis
I'm
on the
sure.
face. It's
at
the very top there.
Yeah, it's not good. This is... I don't think anyone actually watched the first film to understand how her hair looked.
He's got good hair, though.
Oh, yeah. Quality stuff.
That guy's got bad hair.
Yeah. So you compare this wig to Lisa Wilcox in Dream Master.
Right. It's pretty similar.
You got a debate going on there. This is more people than there were in the first movie.
Yeah, this is where all the money went. We got to pay 40 extras to stand outside the house.
Stand around doing shit. And nobody's in a costume.
Not a one.
No.
But apparently Ben Tramer was. Walking like a goddamn caveman.
There's more and more people.
And
they're multiplying.
The cops are running after me. Like, why wouldn't I take my mask off and be like, hey, it's just me. It's Ben Tramer.
Yeah. Again, Carpenter was drinking a lot of booze right in this one.
Well, and that could have been, on paper, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
You know,
it's execution.
Right. Man walks down the street wearing Michael Myers' mask with slight alterations.
Yeah.
You know, Loomis misunderstands that.
Right.
You know, interprets it as the killer. Masked man turns and walks across the street, gets hit by a car. Like, on paper, it sounds fine.
Yeah. Just doesn't work on screen. Not the way they plucked it out and put it together. It just sounds very contrived.
I do really like their green jackets. I think green is
That's
great
nice.
great color for a sheriff's jacket.
Yeah.
And here's
got
another
nice quality on screen. Yeah, it pops out nicely.
Here's another reaction. A poor person who's just lost a loved one and doesn't behave as such.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just found out that his own daughter was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets angry at Loomis. I don't know.
It's
like
misdirection of grief. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
And again, the Loomis character here is like they got nothing for him to do in this film.
Nope, 7. And, yeah.
Most of his dialogue is just like paraphrased from the first film because you've had no time for the character to progress from the first film to the next film, so you just got to respout the same dialogue to new characters.
Right, and I mean, I guess it does make sense because it's only been a half an hour. That, logically, the next step is that. But I don't know where all these other cops were. Who is this person?
This is another insert reshoot type of thing to. I think it's.
And that's somebody, right? That person walking across. Was that like John Carpenter?
I don't
or
think
it wasn't
so.
John Carpenter, but it was like guy was somebody.
Yeah. Because later on, they have that same character walking across the street with a radio to inform, walking past Michael Myers, so that Michael Myers can overhear the radio broadcast, know where Jamie or Laurie Strode is.
Oh my God!
Because they realized there was a plot hole in there, so they had to contrive something in there.
Why wouldn't, logically, couldn't they just show him in the bushes watching the ambulance pull away?
Across the street.
Yeah.
Simple enough.
And then he goes, although I guess he can't say, hey, ma'am, where's the hospital?
Right. But getting into this thing all over again, like one of these bad films. Just lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. A Datsun.
Yeah.
A Datsun truck.
Yeah. Here it comes.
I feel like this guy is somebody's kid.
Yeah.
Maybe it's John Carpenter's kid.
I don't think he had a kid yet. But yeah. That's just plot convenience there.
And what is this mask? Like, where...
That hair is completely different.
This hair is wrong.
Yeah. But what I was saying is like... I remember what I was going to say. It's the fact that okay, Michael gets shot, falls off the balcony, goes to the neighbor's house, gets a knife, then wanders off into town.
And now all of a sudden...
It shows that Michael is completely directionless in what he's actually doing here.
And...
Despite spending the whole night stalking the exact same people, now just going off in random places. There's no...
Oh, and there's a conveniently placed sign.
Yeah.
And it's now midnight or 11 o'clock. What are all these fucking people doing out in the town? This drives me nuts. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like that town scene.
Yeah, just like, again, Michael is completely directionless. He's just wandering around town doing nothing. Until he finds out randomly where Laurie's been taken. And then heads off to the hospital. But then doesn't go after Laurie. He kills about like 6 other people before he even gets to her. It's just like it's again another eye shot.
Yeah, all you can see is eyes in that.
Yeah,
and I still don't buy that the reporters have made their way to this small town.
Yeah, no.
And are broadcasting live outside the house.
I mean, this is later on in the franchise that establishes more of the geography where Haddonfield is, but it's kind of like central Illinois,
right?
Which. This is a cornfield, basically.
Right.
There's no like major metropolitan areas.
They're cornfields now, which means that then it was even more cornfield.
Yeah. It's like you're not getting reporters from ABC 7 Chicago News rolling down there in the middle of the night.
Right.
Taking a 3-hour trip.
I will say that that girl in the had a Coke glass.
No.
And so now we have 2.
Right.
Very.
See, now this is a studio picture.
Right.
They might have actually gotten Coke to sign on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Why is there always a security guard who just doesn't do
watch
his fucking job in any of these movies?
Never once has a security guard actually done security.
Doesn't pay attention to jack shit.
Except for Die Hard, and he gets murdered for his
exactly
for his efforts. Yeah, see, she's got a Coke glass, and it's pretty in frame.
Yeah. It's very recognizable.
Well, that's because Coke is a...
Right,
I mean,
because that's the point. She could have been holding
there's a pineapple up there. Because, pineapples are native to Midwest and Halloween.
In October, yeah.
In October, right. The pineapple gets me. And I pretty much hate this guy.
Yeah.
He's a good sleazeball character, I guess. But
Yeah. Because apparently he's like a New York actor. And a lot of the producers didn't want him involved because he didn't fit.
He doesn't look... he doesn't feel
film
like...
set in the Midwest. He doesn't have the right rhythms. He doesn't have the right style of speech to be living in Central Illinois.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right. Who departs Brooklyn and goes to Springfield?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Haddonfield.
Champaign, Illinois. But I guess Rosenthal kept championing him to just get him in the film because I guess, whatever reason, I don't know, he was in an acting class he was working or something, just like... Yeah.
That HMH hospital logo
Yeah.
is literally just a sticker on the door.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be etched on the door. You can
Yeah.
see the outline of the sticker.
I mean, this guy would fit in a Friday the 13th film because that's basically New Jersey.
I think he was in. Wasn't he in? I feel like he was one of the...
Yeah, you could probably transplant him to any one of them. And
anyone.
I'm sure there's a couple of characters you could have played. And that's kind of the thing with this whole film. It feels more like a Friday the 13th film from a lot of angles.
It really does.
I mean, obviously this is several years before Final Chapter.
They really got going, yeah.
But Final Chapter, that beginning section of Final Chapter feels like this entire film. When they're in the hospital with the morgue and all that type of stuff. Same style of characters, all that type of thing. And it fits more for a Friday the 13th film because it's a little bit more raunchier, and for lack of a better term. It's a little dirtier, it's a little more rugged.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. He could have been that coroner guy in he's not the same guy, but he could have easily played that guy.
Yeah. And I hate beige walls in a movie. God damn it. I just drives me nuts.
Why?
It's so bland, it's so boring.
What about this baby shit yellow?
Ugh.
For the nursery, right?
Ugh.
The walls are actually beige. They're just covered in baby shit.
I mean, when you had the first film that had environments where you could do all those nice lighting schemes and nice blues and whatnot, now it's just like, it's white and it's beige. It's boring to look at.
It's a hospital.
Right. But I'm just saying...
What do you want? Pink and blue?
I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't lend itself to any mood to set it in this kind of location.
Well, isn't it supposed to be sterile?
Right. I
That's the mood.
I know that. I'm just saying...
I'm not arguing.
That's one of those things that turns me off from this film. Just like, visually, it's not very interesting to look at.
I see. Which is why they put a black person in there. I'm kidding. Send your hate tweets. Look at this terrible Michael Myers.
And it still looks like he's got blonde hair.
Yeah. So Ben Tramer died for nothing. Well, he died for nothing anyway. But, she's got blonde hair. Everybody's got blonde hair in this movie. It's the age of let's go blonde. Even though you can see her terrible wig line.
Yeah. Her forehead looks about 3 times bigger than it was in the last film.
So here she's finding out that that it was the Myers kid.
Yeah.
And really, it made sense that, he saw her because he was in his childhood home and she walked into it or had a key to it.
And he just fixated on her.
Right. And he
said... Again, that's the whole premise of the first film, simple. And this one starts to complicate matters.
This one, it's going to go off the rails real quick here.
It's getting there.
So, he's a paramedic.
Yeah.
Does he or does he not operate out of, say, like
an ambulance,
a fire station or an ambulance or whatever?
What's he doing hanging around the hospital? He should be out. I mean, there's
dead bodies all over town.
Yes.
Why is he hanging around here?
We've seen 2 dead bodies carted off and then her. There was a lot more dead people in the first film.
Well, no, they were pulling everybody out of the Lindsay's house. I don't know.
Yeah.
And what is that outfit supposed to be?
Yeah.
Does she work in the cafeteria? I don't know. There's some... The whole hospital feel is just wrong to me.
Yeah. And again, even stuff like this where it is shadowy, it still feels bright. It doesn't feel like there's enough contrast. I mean, it's nitpicking and whatnot, but it just feels... For something that's supposed to pick up exactly from the first film, feel exactly the same, just every little thing just feels slightly off.
It feels much more polished.
Yeah.
I mean, which is definitely the studio influence. This room has a push-button telephone, which apparently every other house or everything had rotary phones in the whole first movie. And since then, the advent of push-button telephones has developed as such that in a half an hour, they've installed push-button phones in all of the hospital. Because the hospital was just built 2 years ago. Look at that walkie-talkie.
Jesus.
Look at those trees with non-Illinois leaves on them.
This one does feel a lot more California. Just like almost blatantly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen even that trick of fake leaves on the ground anywhere.
I wasn't really looking for it.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of shots anymore back at
Not much.
the houses and such, the neighborhood. We're pretty much here for the duration.
Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing that tries to make it feel Midwest. It just feels... I mean, I don't know how... I don't know how you could make it, but it just feels California to me. It just feels blatantly like that. Something in the makeup of the film just feels California, regardless.
I think this security guard feels very Chicago to me. I mean, I think this guy right here would definitely be, getting a sausage and peppers.
It looks like Lieutenant Eckhart from Burton's Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. But I still feel... I think this guy's a Chicago guy.
Yeah, he's got enough of that. See him running around chasing the Blues Brothers.
Maybe. Move down to Southern Illinois to be closer to his wife's parents, who are ill. Took up this nighttime security guard job for some extra money. Misses his friends on the force back on the south side. This guy's a Cubs fan, though. He's not a Sox fan.
No.
He's far too pleasant to be a Sox fan. Oh, if you're not from around here, we apologize. It's just a dynamic. Wait, you're a Sox fan, aren't you?
By default.
Come on. That's it. It's the end of this podcast. It's over. I can't have a Cubs fan and a Sox fan commingling here.
I don't watch that much anyway.
All right. A meat thermometer hanging in the tool shed. Sure it would.
Still in the packaging.
Sure it would. Come on. Who dressed this set? I'll tell you what, it wasn't Tommy Lee Wallace, that's for sure. You can't both be holding the button down at the same time.
It's not Die Hard, people.
You stupid bitch. Turn all the knobs.
Turn all the knobs.
Right. It was.
Screw it up even more.
It probably was working just fine when he handed it to you.
What kind of security guard is this? Like, I'm going to give you the other radio. If anything goes wrong, you call someone to take care of it.
Right. Oh, boy.
What a hospital this is.
Well, have you noticed they only have 4 employees and 2 patients? Even though it's a giant-ass building. I mean, I don't know what hospitals were like in 1981, but this feels like a hospital in 1961 to me. This guy.
This guy's getting scared of everything.
He's the worst.
Jumping out at him.
He's the worst security guard of all time.
Boxes falling everywhere. It's like, jeez, oh Christ, pal.
This guy is terrible. All he wants to be doing is at home in his slippers. Put on his Ryan Sandberg jersey.
Get a bratwurst. Oh.
Jesus. I mean, the hammer seems even out of place.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like a Michael Myers instrument of death.
No. It's all about the knife before.
Oh, Ben Tramer! Oh. Poor kid.
Oh.
Charred Ben Tramer.
Look at that freaking sweater.
Why is he wearing that? And why does he not have his face mask on?
I think that sweater's going to eat him whole.
Did he say that Michael Myers is only 21?
Yes. Despite the credits of the first film saying he was 23.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, incorrectly.
Oh, come on.
Because it said the kid was age 6 in the credits, and then it's supposed to take 15 years later, but they credit him as age 23 in the credits.
Wow.
Egregious errors. Someone didn't know how to do math in 1978.
People don't know how to do math now. Nothing has changed. So here's a logical step. Everyone has figured out that, the news has reported that it's the Myers house.
Yeah.
So all the adults are out in their bathrobes being vandals? Maybe this doesn't make logical sense.
It doesn't make... What are they expecting to achieve? Again, what's with this fucking green lighting?
Apparently it's like the light on
radioactive?
On the side of the car there.
Yeah, trust me. It's not realistic in the least. I mean, what do all these people expect to achieve by lynching the Myers house that's been abandoned for 15 years? What?
Like the house did it?
The house did it. This is ridiculous.
People are just throwing rocks through the open window at this point. Are they thinking that the killer is inside? There's like chubby Jewish women in their bathrobes out there yelling.
Yeah. This feels like plot filler.
Right. And then this happened. Yeah. Not because of that, this happened.
It's just random events happening so you can get Loomis on screen again, because you got nothing for him to do until the climax of the movie.
Well, playing devil's advocate, they don't know where he's at.
Right, I'm just... So...
So, I don't know, I mean... But wouldn't he be... He wouldn't be just standing around looking at the house.
No.
He'd be out actively trying to find him.
Yeah.
Like, there's that whole he's still out there mentality. Yeah. So why don't you get out there and look for him?
Why is he at the morgue? Why is he back at the house? I mean, he spent half the night at the house. He never showed up.
There's a cop in the house.
Yeah.
The cop... I don't know.
Yeah. It worked in the first film because it was logical progression. Now it's just imitation because there's nowhere else to go with it. You just have to keep doing the same thing that you did in the first film until the pieces come together and he knows where to go to find him. Because there's nothing else for him to do.
Right. So here's Ben Tramer's best friend. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Ben Tramer. Oh, so now there's urgency?
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it. Who are all those pills for? There ain't that many
There's
patients.
nobody here.
Is that just what you do? Like, we need a job for this nurse? The hallway's not even lit. There's not even lights on in the hallway. I mean,
They
I
got
get
security lights on, for crying out loud.
I guess it's dark, so you want it to be dim so the patients can sleep. I get that.
But there's no patients.
The doors should be closed. Look, if there was a patient in that room, the door would be closed.
Yeah.
Nobody in that room. Nobody in that room. Nobody in that room.
Yeah.
Nobody in that one there. No. Oh, maybe this one there. Maybe. That looks like a closet. This door was closed. Oh, across the hall, there's one. Closed door, anyway. Oh. Wow.
Well, the question is, well, if there was no actual patient there, what's she going there for reason to begin with?
Oh, like room 7 has the light go on. There's no patient in room 7. What the fuck? Like, why would she fall for that? You're right. I never thought of that.
That makes no sense.
God damn it. This movie's terrible. I mean, it's okay.
His logic is very fractured.
Well, I guess that sets up the fractured logic for the whole rest of the series. I mean, we do get, this is the film where, there's that old adage of, you can explain anything away with just a line of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, this one line of dialogue, completely with the sister aspect, completely changes the course of history,
Yes.
cinema history, just with that one line of dialogue.
Yes.
Meanwhile, this bitch is working. She's getting paid to suck face with New York.
It's like, really? This is the guy you're going to back on? This asshole?
No, go after Jimmy. Jimmy's
Yeah.
cute. This guy's not cute.
Jimmy would buy you flowers.
Right. This guy buy a whiskey.
I'll hog it for himself.
Right. He'll buy it for you.
Here's a bottle of whiskey. You can have it when I'm done with it.
That's good. Why are there only emergency lights?
Exactly. The most abandoned hospital in the world. Which, technically it was when they found it, but fact of the matter is. Oh, here we go.
Is she dreaming?
Yep.
She's like what, 12 in that scene? That's like a 12-year-old girl. What is that? Because that certainly doesn't look like blood.
Nah.
I just... A repressed memory? Really?
I've heard that is totally debunked.
Well, I don't know about that. But...
Well, because there's a lot of stuff going on in psychology at a certain point in time where people were there were like psychologists or psychiatrists trying to coach memories out of people that ended up in the process of it sort of planted too many ideas in their head that manufactured false memories. So it's something that's very sketchy at best.
I agree that it's sketchy. I'm not going to say it's 100% debunked. I feel like people can, take a traumatic incident.
At least from what was the culture was probably back in like the 80s or early 90s or whatnot, it was the process of trying to coach those memories out was not a sound one.
I think if it's a traumatic incident, like a rape or something, I feel like
I can get behind.
I feel like that would be,
but not how they tend to show it in films like this.
Ooh, look at those pencil erasers there. Jesus. You think it was cold in there?
It was, apparently.
Oh, that's right, because it was cold and this water wasn't hot either.
No.
But so if it's a trauma thing, I could see not your mind saying, I don't want to remember these details.
Yeah.
But to just have a dream one day when I'm in the hospital that, oh, I happen to remember going to visit my brother in the hospital at the age of 10 or 12.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and there's no...
I have vivid memories from the time when I was under the age of 2. Like, we lived in a house, and I have memories in that house. Lots of them.
I mean, my earliest memory was from age 3.
And I can't imagine that anybody wouldn't remember something like going to visit a family member in the hospital at the age of 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Until they dreamt about it the night that he tried to kill me. Like, what?
And so backwards that... So the trauma forces you to remember something that shouldn't have been blocked out of your memory in the first place because nothing happened to you to affect your psychology?
Right, you're right. It's reverse repression. It's coaxing. It's traumatic coaxing.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. That's probably exactly why when they're making this Halloween Returns film this year, why they're even wiping this film out of continuity. It's going to be a direct sequel only to the original film. So they're probably wiping that entire thing away, but then that begs the question, why is Jamie Lee Curtis going back at all?
Is it taking place 40 years later?
Yes.
Okay, well...
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. So, that makes... we're jumping way ahead here, but there are probably 4 different tracks.
Continuities, yeah.
Right, different timelines that you could take. This hair is so bad on the Halloween mask right now. This Michael Myers mask. I don't understand.
It's like this mask has been sitting and flattened out in someone's drawer for 3 years. That's what it's been. Some musky little box or something.
I mean, it's obviously not the same one. And how is she not looking at him? Who does that?
Yeah, that's just, again, contrivance.
Like, that's gross. She can't tell that this man is dirty.
Filthy hands.
She's licking...
Covered in blood.
Blood and dirt, and she's licking the hand.
Yeah. Again, more fucking eyes. Stop it.
And also...
I think it's the only Halloween film where they show his eyes. Everyone else, I think they block them out somehow with lighting or whatever.
And there's no way that that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to have her face melt off.
No.
And why is his hand not melted off?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
She's melted, but he's not.
And
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't need to happen. All you have to do is drown her. There's no need to have her burned face or whatnot.
Agreed. You push her under. She can't breathe. She splashes a little bit, and then we're done.
And it's not like she even struggled or whatnot. It's like she's flailing arms or whatnot or trying to do anything.
And
it's just like...
Come on now.
Yeah.
He's going to look at a picture, a drawing of a family. And the blonde guy just said, "Is that it?" And then he's going to say no and point him at the chalkboard? Like he didn't see that when they first walked in the room?
And again, it's another contrived scene. Is like... So, Michael, after he tries to kill Lori, who just randomly ran into earlier in the day, then goes off to the schoolhouse to do all this little sort of set
Field
staging
trip,
of plot contrivances and whatnot, so someone can discover it later. This is so bad.
How would Michael Myers even know what Samhain is?
Exactly.
And why would he write it in blood? How does he know how to write it in blood? How would he even know who his sister is?
Yeah.
He couldn't pick her out of a lineup.
I mean, even if she was born at the time he went away, she was still a baby. How could you possibly recognize her that many years later?
There's no way. It's been 15 years.
Yeah.
Unless he remembers her because she went to visit him in the hospital.
Oh, God. You should see my expression right now, people. I just rolled my eyes.
This is really bad.
This is, yeah. I mean, I sympathize with John Carpenter. Didn't want to make a sequel. I had no idea what the hell to do with the script. Struggled all the way through. And just had to come up with something that had some sort of hook of interest to do something with something.
I love the smoking. Everybody's always smoking.
Just look how he moves. It just is so fucking... It's like he's got a wooden board up his back.
Yeah, it's very stilted.
Yeah.
Curtis probably got bed sores by now because all she's done is lay down. She hasn't even stood up this whole movie. She's literally been...
Exactly what I was saying earlier. It's like, she got paid how much to just lay in bed for 90% of the film?
I never put two and two together, but her first scene in this movie was coming out on the stretcher.
Yeah.
She's been horizontal 100% of her scenes.
So far, yeah. It's not until like the last 15 minutes of the film where she actually gets out of bed and just starts running around the hospital. I mean, it's no disrespect to her, but I mean, you could have gotten anyone to play this role in this film because it doesn't really demand much of anything.
Well, it's not even... You're right, because...
Now she's catatonic.
It doesn't make any sense.
And again, it comes down to the fact they just don't have anything for the characters to do. That's why they have to put in all this Ken fodder to put in some kind of runtime in this thing, because there's nothing for Loomis to do until he actually figures out where the hell Myers is in the last 15 minutes of the film.
There's nothing for her to do because...
because she's got no one...
Her story took place in the first one.
Yeah, her story's technically over.
The entire premise of this movie is, let's put all these other random people around for him to kill.
And why is it taking him so long to just walk through the hospital and find out where she is? She's on the main freaking level of the freaking hospital.
And why is he not
hard to find?
Why is he not just slicing up people in town that he's walking past?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's his sister.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense. The whole screenplay does not hold any water.
We could write it better.
Yeah.
We've said that before on this show.
This sequel constitutes a short film. It does not constitute 90 minutes.
That's kind of a cool little visual, though.
Yeah.
But, again, not necessary.
Yeah.
None of it's necessary.
He's killing everyone around Laurie instead of actually getting to Laurie.
There's our good fade-in.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And another, jarring close-up to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Again, it just feels like a Friday the 13th film to me. It really does. And it doesn't feel like... And not one of the worst films, obviously, would be of that franchise, but it feels very... It's very uninspired. It's a very paint-by-numbers slasher film of 1981.
Yeah, it really doesn't... It feels like 180 degrees different than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no suspense in this at all.
Because you don't care about any of these characters who are getting lost.
I was just going to say, I don't care about any of these nurses. I mean, I guess I care a little bit about Jimmy because, he's
shown some care and
sweet
compassion. Yeah.
And obviously
he's had some screen time worth of crap.
He and Curtis have kind of made a connection.
Yeah.
That he's sweet on her
mm-hmm.
and she kind of likes him back a little
mm-hmm.
bit. Even though she wants to date Ben Tramer and has no idea that he's in the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is that ever revealed to her, that Ben Tramer has been charred?
I don't know.
I feel like it's not.
Probably not. Unless it's, right at the end of the film.
But she's also...
But again, I mean, she's catatonic now. She doesn't get out of it.
Catatonia.
and whatnot, until Michael shows up, and then she's running around, so it's like there's no time for her to even learn that type of information.
She's also not... I guess she's also still processing the fact that all of her friends are dead.
Yeah.
And... Again, here there's not that stalker music undercurrent.
Mm-hmm.
And why, if she were dead or comatose a minute ago, would she have the wherewithal or the ability to do that?
Yeah.
Why would she feel that was necessary?
Exactly. She has no knowledge that Michael's anywhere close to here or anything. She has no idea of anything that's happening outside this room.
She thinks she's safe. Right?
Yeah.
I would think I was safe. Isn't a hospital...
She has no reason to fear for anything. She has no idea of any of this stuff that's going on throughout the hospital.
In fact, like I was saying, she's still processing the fact that her friends are all dead.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense at all. This is one of those movies that really gets worse for me every time I watch it.
Yeah.
Unlike the first film, which gets better.
Hmm.
I don't even know how that's possible after 40 years. That you watch it and you go, oh my God, it's just so well done.
Because you don't... You see so many other films that some don't work, some do work, but then you go back to that thing and just like... You see how everything just fits so well into it. So beautifully constructed, beautifully executed, beautifully shot. It's all just... Every brushstroke is perfect. And you just appreciate it so much more. After you see so much stuff that might be middling or whatnot, you go back to see something that just like, it was innovative, it was classic, and it still holds its weight after all this time.
So here's a little bit of the music. And this is the Carpenter music. This isn't the Howarth music.
Yeah, this is the original music, original compositions, anyway.
And that doesn't even look like the same person.
No.
The mask is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, fine, it's dirtier.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, I mean, I still feel like the body type, maybe it's just the way he's carrying himself, just feels physically different from how he was in the first film.
Right. I feel like if the mask were the same, like either one of those two components individually would have been understandable, but when it's a different mask and a different like performance together, you go, it just takes you out of the scene.
It's so stark.
Yeah, it takes you completely out of the movie. Like, okay, putting myself in 1981, it's been 3 years, and we're supposed to be the same night. So you try to say, okay, I'm in the same night. This isn't the same night.
No.
If you watch these two films back to back, you completely lose everything you felt in the first one.
Exactly. I mean, you go back to the characters. I mean, the first film had the luxury of being able to just have the characters exist and live and breathe until you got to the point where things would build up and you have the tension build up.
And everything was logical. It flowed. Because of this, that happened. And then because of that, the next thing happened.
But now this is a sequel. You can't, just by sequel logic that people built into the expectations, you just can't have 45 minutes of just building characters. You got to have a death scene every 10, 15 minutes or whatnot.
Right.
Or else people feel like they're getting bored. And that's the problem here. It's like you start killing characters off right away before you've had any time to develop them to any way or build any connection with the audience. They're just fodder to wipe out because you got to hit a quota.
Yeah, it would have been so much better. You know what? I'm trying to think here. How would I have done it? And maybe the main character of this movie would have been somebody at the hospital.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of
Shift the focus.
You see them. Maybe at the beginning of the movie, it's a nurse, and she's getting ready, and she hears the sirens, and she hears that something is going on.
Yeah.
And Laurie Strode is more of a secondary character, like maybe she knew her, or her brother went to school with her, or something at the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all this happened to you.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I feel like there could have been reshifting
shift,
where you suddenly cared about somebody.
A new character. Because otherwise, I mean, everyone else is dead from the first film. You can't carry on anyone else.
Right.
You've got to establish something new while still linking it to what you already had. That's what you would... I mean, it's not exactly what Friday the 13th Part 2 did, because they had Adrian King at the beginning of the film.
Right, in town.
Yeah. but you had that sequence go on. You had a familiar character there, but then you close off that thing, and then you introduce new characters to continue on with the rest of the story with.
Right. And I get it, that this had to be a vehicle for Donald Pleasance and
Jamie Lee Curtis. Building up her star power a little bit.
Right. So, I'm just saying, I think they could have done it and made one of these nurses or Jimmy or somebody else the main character of the movie.
How does no one notice there's a freaking shadow of a person standing over there?
We saw it, which means they saw it.
They're standing right there in the doorway.
Exit only. This is probably one of those where that was a broom closet, and they just slapped some letters on it.
Yeah.
Come out of the closet, Jimmy. Why did they have to make it his sister?
There was no need for it. Absolutely none.
And when have you ever been in a hospital where major surgery and minor surgery were designated, and...
None. It's usually like surgery room 1, surgery room 2.
Right. Good lighting there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There's some ketchup. And here's another one of those scenes. Who did this now? You're telling me that he's a medical expert?
For no reason whatsoever.
This is one of those situations where there's, once again, more blood there than there is in the entire human body.
That's ridiculous.
And he concussed himself? He knocked himself out? Is there a front door to this thing? Is this like the employee parking lot? Where are the patients? Why is it so dark everywhere? Nothing makes sense to me.
Mm-mm.
And I realize I'm kind of a cynic and I question a lot of things. And I know you do too, but maybe not as much as me. But, like, why would her tires be flat? And if her tires are flat, why wouldn't all the tires be flat? Like, oh, I guess they are. So he flattened all the tires in all the cars so that nobody could get away. Okay, never mind. I recant.
But again, it's just like...
How would he know to do that?
There's a lot of busy work for Michael to be doing in this film. I mean... He's gone off. He's killed a couple neighbors. He's gone off and visited the school to set up a whole bunch of artwork and a whole bunch of stuff on the chalkboard. Then he's gone off and slashed all the tiles in the parking lot. He's killed about 4 of the people in the hospital by now.
He performed an IV into this nurse.
Yet he can't find her in the damn place. He's found every other thing in the entire universe in this town.
There's one fucking patient.
Except for one person he wants to kill. It's really bad.
One patient. Patient 0.
Patient 0.
And again, why did she leave her room?
I don't know. I do not know.
I wasn't asking you personally, I guess, but...
Well, I'm the only one here. I might as well answer for everyone.
You're right. That hair. I mean, okay, she's drugged, which makes her even less likely
lucid
that she would be willing to, set up some pillows. And the shoes is a good little gimmick.
Yeah.
I like the shoes.
But really, getting stabbed in the back with a scalpel is not going to kill you.
No.
You'll be wounded, but you're going to be living just fine.
Nor are you going to be able to pick somebody up, but via a scalpel in the back.
No.
She's moving now. She is moving now. She's also wearing a bra. So she put on a bra sometime in the ambulance. There's no lights on anywhere in this hospital. And why would all these doors be locked?
Look at this walk. Jesus Christ.
It's terrible.
It's awful.
And now she's in the boiler room with Fat Cop. He does love to... Oh, yeah. We forgot that he had to spend time staging that murder also.
Jeez.
After the visit to the elementary school, which I guess he would know where that is.
And walking around town for a couple hours.
Right. It's got to be 2 a.m. by now.
At least.
Why is he not moving faster? He was walking faster through town.
Yeah. I mean, in the first film, when he was going across the street, I mean, like I said, he felt like a relentless shark. Just a predator coming after a prey. Not relenting, not slowing down for anything. And this is even before we had Jason doing that type of things. This predates that. So it's not like they're copying off of that sort of thing.
Right, because if you recall, one of the best parts about Jason in Part 2 is that
he's clumsy, he's vulnerable.
He moves around like an adult.
Yeah.
Like a person.
Yeah. Jason didn't start doing the lumbering zombie walk until like 6 or 7.
Even Brooker in 3
ran around.
Yeah.
It's like
look at this.
For some reason, they just Warlock, because I guess Warlock looked at Nick Castle's performance in the first film and just couldn't understand exactly what the motivation was.
So that made him walk like this?
Yeah, so he completely changed the entire body language of the whole character for no reason, and none of the producers, none of the director, no one bothered to even tell him to do anything different. They didn't direct him in any way whatsoever, from his own words. No one gave him any direction on how to do the character. They just told him, walk from point A to point B. Do this and this. They didn't tell him how to portray the character in any way. That's bad directing.
There's more lights on in the parking lot
than there is inside.
Inside.
I mean, every window is dark. Looks like an abandoned warehouse.
Which it may have been.
Yeah.
I forget where this is.
Pasadena. Where they shot it.
Yeah. I just don't remember what this particular building is. This building is still there.
I think it was an abandoned hospital.
Well, it's something now. I remember seeing Sean Clark's Horror's Hallowed Grounds on it, which might actually be on the special features on here.
Yeah.
And I want to say that they were real picky about people coming on the property to shoot.
Yeah.
So I think this building exists now as something else.
Mm-hmm.
I like that she just got in any old random car.
Mm-hmm.
Which there'd be no way that he would figure out where she was.
Yeah.
This does look like the same little town, though, from the first one.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think they shot in the exact same location.
I love that there's that sign on the street corner that just, hospital this way. Which he may or may not have read when he was walking through town.
Oh, here it comes.
There's that green light again.
I don't get it. Yeah.
I feel like it was mounted on the side of the car for some reason.
Yeah, I just don't get the motivation for green lighting.
I don't know if that's...
I mean, there was no green lighting in the first film. I don't know why you're adding new color palette into this. I mean, you're trying to be so...
Did he say something about druids?
I think so, yeah, because of Sam Hain.
Oh my god.
But, I mean, when
this is really where it just...
just takes the shit on the bed, huh?
It does. I mean, it's
contrived and it doesn't have to be here.
None of it has to be here.
All it does is motivate Loomis to go where she is. Where Laurie Strode is. Because he figures, well, Michael's still going to go after her. Well, why didn't you think of that in the first place?
Right, he was stalking
somebody. Her. Yeah, stalking these people the whole time, and there's the one person who didn't get killed.
In his defense, maybe he didn't realize that he was stalking a certain group of people. All he knows is that he was in town.
Right.
And there was...
Well, Brackett could have put that pieces together, that these are all friends that know each other, and you could have put it together a little easier.
Right. Like, oh, by the way, my daughter, who was just murdered, I last saw her riding in the car with Laurie Strode after...
Going off to a babysitting jobs.
And, conveniently it was across the street. Let me go across the street.
And all these people who were together and are friends... killed in houses right across one another, you can easily put it together.
Right.
Any
there's somebody missing. Right.
Yeah.
Where's Laurie?
And now you got Loomis pulling a gun on a cop. It just.
You're down to 6 bullets now.
There's certain things in this film that just feels like it's pushing the Loomis character a little bit off the crazy edge.
Yeah.
A little bit understandable. I think it's just too much. Because it was so brilliant in the first film, just underplaying everything. Now it's a little too much. It's playing a little over the top in places. I mean,
Jimmy can't see that she's there. Good acting on Jimmy there, I think. So, I like that. I mean, obviously something's wrong with him. But I feel like he's doing a really good job here.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably my favorite character in this movie.
A quick question: when the nurse was out earlier, did the car not start at all? Because that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you have flat tires, but you still can technically drive on flat tires if you have to.
I feel like it didn't.
So, on top of slashing the tires, Michael goes in and fucks around with the engine, too.
Right. Yeah, you gotta disable it.
There's far too many contrived elements in the story.
There is a scene coming up, in a minute or two here, that I think that she does her best work in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Crawling around the parking lot. That really can't feel good.
No.
How did they get there so fast? This is a great scene, in my opinion. Right here. That she can't... It's almost like a dream. Where you try to yell and you can't. And then, at the very last minute... That's good. I like that. I kind of want that HMH logo on something. I need like a notebook or something. Coffee mug? I'd love a coffee mug that had the HMH on it. Next Christmas, if any of our loyal followers would like to give me a gift... Let me take these real stilted steps here. Boom, 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 boom. People don't even walk. Nobody walks like that.
Yeah. Unless you got a stick up your ass.
And Loomis didn't even shut the car door behind him. There's another Coke. You saw the Coke machine. I bet Universal got in bed with Coke for this.
Oh, yeah.
Why is the door locked to the hospital?
It was just opened a minute ago. Unlocked. It didn't even... It's not like they unlocked anything there. Just like they... God damn it. Yeah.
What?
That is bad.
Stop.
That's bad.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That better be it. They actually counted this time?
Well, you already shut off the window earlier,
Well,
so there's a 7.
That's why I started with 2 there.
Oh, okay.
I was counting the 1 as being out the in the car.
Mm-hmm.
If he shoots again, get on that radio.
Well, I think he does. Isn't that how he ignites the propane or whatever it is? The fire? We'll get there.
You might be right. He might do 7 bullets twice in this movie. Get your ass away from there.
Oh.
So now he's... Not only is he walking like a non-human, he's been shot...
14 times.
13 times.
13 times.
He's been shot 13 times, and he's still walking around like... So they've really actually made it a supernatural situation.
Yeah.
Which is yet another deviation from the first film, and it just kind of mucks up the whole storyline going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously gunshots aren't going to work.
Yeah.
So this is where you progress to things like an axe or a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Or...
chop off a limb.
Something. If you cut off his leg, he can't walk to you anymore, right? And who is this woman?
Marion Chambers, the nurse from the first film.
At the...
Front, when they were driving up to Smith's Grove.
Oh,
that the rabbit and red thing.
Yeah. But I thought... Oh, yeah.
Not like you can recognize her. She's dressed and styled completely differently.
Even though it's roughly the same time.
Yeah.
Like, the next day, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even use his hands. He pushed that door open with his chest and head.
Yeah.
Just like he did the front door, which exploded when he put his head on it. Take this unloaded gun. I emptied all the bullets into him.
When I tell you, just throw it at him.
Oh, no, I lied.
He's got
It's a second
he's got
gun.
the cop's gun. The cop's gun. You can walk through a plate glass window easily, but he's having a lot of trouble breaking through this.
That's a shitty
paper
door.
mache door.
Why didn't he shoot? Aw. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's his getting stabbed in the gut is not going to make you fall over and pass out.
Agreed.
Generally speaking, it's not going to incapacitate you.
So now he's looking at her like, oh wait, I've been chasing you around for 8 hours.
You look the same, but your hair is so different now.
Did you get a style?
Now he can't see.
Now he's been shot in the eyes. Oh wait, no.
He's been shot above the eyes.
Above the eyes. and the blood is dripping down through the eye hole in the mask. I see. And I mean, I guess that's kind of a neat visual with the blood tears, so to speak. That now makes 15 bullets that have gone into Mike Myers here. Maybe he shoots the thing with
We'll see.
the cop's gun. And what are in those tanks? Also ether? Because it wouldn't be the same colored tank.
No.
Like, why would that be? I don't understand. Is it... Oh, it's oxygen. Okay. Oxygen for fuel, ether... to... Yeah, okay. I feel like it shouldn't be this easy to blow things up.
No.
Like, isn't the door open?
Yeah.
So, there's no way that...
Plenty of ventilation there.
Yeah, there'd be no way that the room would fill up with enough gas for...
Okay, no, he's got a lighter.
And how did anybody live through that?
They're not supposed to.
They both do.
It's not supposed to. John Carpenter was intending for them both to die. But of course...
Yeah, that was a $500,000 explosion right there.
But of course, he's got to come
This might be that
lumbering out.
This might be the same guy that did the burn in Nightmare on Elm Street a couple of years later. Look at that. He's wearing like a full-on like suit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that doesn't look anything like anything. You know what that looks like? It looks like Ben Tramer. Burning Ben Tramer.
Burning.
I do love a light blue, baby blue police car. And that guy's smoking. Is that not perfect? It's perfect. I need to get one of those green jackets. Wouldn't that be cool? To get the green jacket with the county sheriff patch on it?
Yeah.
And the fur?
You get one that says Springwood. There you go. You can be Don Thompson for Halloween.
Well, I'm working on a Horace Pinker Halloween costume.
There you go. Yeah. We gotta go with that first. Now she's going to another hospital.
Well, this one done burned down.
This one's has no staff left.
Oh, God damn it. This is bad. All these looky-loos.
Yeah. Apparently the television version ended with Jimmy coming back in the ambulance there, saying that he was still alive, even though it seemed kind of ambiguous whether he was actually dead or not.
I could see him being alive.
Yeah.
And this one ends with Fog, which ends up being his next movie, which is The Fogs. So it's basically
with Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
3 consecutive.
Actually, Fog was before this.
You're right, it was
1980.
Oh, now let's play this song again.
A stupid song.
Yes. Bum 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 bum. Sorry.
Yeah, it just makes...
Why?
Song has no relevance to the film whatsoever, goddamn ever. Zero.
Sheriff Brackett's name is Lee. Leigh. How did I not know that? What did you say Lance Guest was in?
Last Starfighter.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. No, he's in something else I can't remember right now.
Huh.
Dig it up real quick.
Oh, Dana Carvey. I forgot that Dana Carvey was in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Bennett Tramer. Excuse me.
Lance Gensler was in Jaws the Revenge.
Was he really?
Yes.
I love Jaws the Revenge. Where Jaws goes down to Florida to follow her. It's wonderful.
He's got a full-on beard in that movie.
That's good stuff. Huh. Well...
Was this good stuff?
No. So, we ended the first one by saying that it was the best horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
Or at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And...
high-quality film.
I mean, if you've listened to any of these other ones, you know that we both were very fond of Friday Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same as the first one, but a solid horror movie in and of itself.
Yeah.
This just feels like it tried way too hard.
Yeah, there's no new...
Thom.
I was going to say...
Walter Rexford Allen Lott. Fuck you.
Yes. I was going to say there's no new idea. There's no new good ideas in this film.
No, everything felt like
again,
it was an effect for effect's sake.
Yeah.
Or a kill for a kill's sake.
Yeah.
Nothing progressed any sort of story.
Right.
And anytime they needed a story, they just pulled one out of their asshole.
Yeah. And like I said, Pleasance got nothing to do in this film that isn't different from the first film.
Same thing.
Lee's got jack crap to do in this film except sit catatonic or limp around screaming. There's no acting ability that was necessary for her quality in this film. She's putting here because of name value.
I have a feeling that a lot of this was Universal saying, we want a sequel, we want it to be...
This, and this.
Right. We need all these people back, because otherwise how will nobody will know it's a Halloween movie unless we have,
Dr. Loomis and Jamie Lee
Sure.
Curtis. And
now I'm convinced that I could have done a better job with making a nurse or Jimmy or somebody else the main character of this movie. So now I'm really fired up for the new one.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to see
what the hell they're thinking of.
Yeah, because as we know, going forward here, as far as they were considering, this Michael Myers story was done
and over with, no more.
So when they come back to the Michael Myers story, they have to continue on based where this one left off, which means the sister thing and whatever.
Yeah,
which is where 4 and 5 go. At some point, we have H2O, which was a direct sequel to Part 2, and pretending that 4, 5, and 6 never existed.
Which is egregious.
Right. And now this new one is going to be a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah, and everything's gone.
Right.
Everything in the continuity's gone. Every film was a waste of time, apparently.
So it's weird how, like, every 2 films is a new offshoot of something else.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Rob Zombie ones are a complete different, reimagining.
Despite also taking elements from this about family and relationships and sisters and everything.
Yeah.
Like, you change it, but you don't change
enough, right?
What people were being objectionable about in the first place. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch coming soon, guys. Completely different stuff.
Completely different. So yeah, I don't know. We let us know what you thought here.
Yeah. So guys, comments abound, please. We'd love to hear what you think about this, because there are plenty of people who do, for whatever reason, they do enjoy this movie, and they're completely free to do so. Yeah. But let's hear what your discussions are, see what you feel about it, and we'll be back with Season of the Witch soon. Awesome. I'm fired up for that one. Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.